Good day, attractive thinker. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your identity coach and get to the root specialist, where we provide intangible tools that support you in getting rid of those debilitating thoughts that blind you to seeing what is really possible for your life. I want you to think about what I just said. Those paralyzing thoughts that blind you from seeing that your dreams are really possible. Write that down in your Attractive Thinker notebook. You've been with us for such a long time, and I know that you have your Attractive Thinker notebook handy to capture these gems that we're going to be dropping along the way. Today, we're going to be talking about I feel emotionally numb. I'm emotionally numb. Welcome my co-host, Tichet Bradshaw, the visual encourager, to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance. Welcome to Shet.
Happy Mindset Monday, everybody. It's such a wonderful day. We have so much to share with you. This is a day we are grateful for because we get to do what we've never done. We get to go where we've never gone, and we get to be what we never have been before. This is a change and a shift, and we are enjoying it and celebrating it along the way. And as usual, it is such a great day to be alive.
Yes, it is. It is a fantastic and amazing day to be alive. Listen to those words, attractive thinker. They're real. They have meaning. Those words matter. And I want you to take those words with you today on your journey of whatever it is you're going to encounter, whatever you're going to do today, understanding that this is a great day to be alive. As an attractive thinker, I want you to understand when you hear me say identity coach, I support my clients in understanding and discovering who they are. Because that's the core of everything. When you understand who you are, you know what decisions to make for your life. You know who to have in your life. You know how to show up in life. You know what goals to have in life. But when you don't know who you are, you know, you're inviting people, places, and things into your life and into your experience that don't belong there. And there's a sense of feeling lost. When I say get to the root specialist, what I'm referring to is the very thing that you think is in your way or holding you back or blocking you from your success is not it. That's not it. When I say get to the root specialist, I mean we have intangible tools that will support you in digging a little bit deeper, going a little bit beyond those paralyzing thoughts that stop you in your tracks and blind you from seeing yourself in your real light. Blind you from seeing your greatness, blind you from seeing the possibilities, and that it is possible for you to create the life that you dream about, that life that you secretly think about, that life that every time, you know, you get an image or a visual of it, you hear a thought say, you know, something pops up, some kind of paralyzing thought comes up and, you know, say, well, this is just a dream. It's not possible. Or, you know, nobody in your family has ever done that before. Or why you keep thinking big? What makes you think you can have this or that? Yeah, why do you keep dreaming? So to Shaq, our audience is excited. I know they are because I am too. Today in talking about why are we talking about being emotionally numb? Because when you can't feel, that's a problem. Talk to us about that, Tishat.
Absolutely. When we get to a point in life where we keep going through certain circumstances and situations, and we find ourselves going through those situations over and over and over again, it becomes almost normal that we don't even recognize that there's a problem anymore. We're not even surprised by any issue arise anymore. And that numbness is a signal that something is dysfunctional, that something is not responding, or something is not activated the way that it's supposed to. We were built to respond. We have we have systems that respond to us automatically and some that we have to do voluntarily, and so when you're numb, that means that when trouble, turmoil, trials, tribulations come, that really you have checked out of yourself. You have completely logged out of who you are. And so you're not able to respond in a way that is fitting to climb out, because you have gotten accustomed, or I wouldn't even say comfortable. I was going to say you got comfortable with the situation, but when you're in a place of numb, it was never comfortable. It became so hard to bear or so hard to deal with that you just become no longer surprised to those outcomes. But see, this is how you build a new normal with that. You don't want a new normal of pain. You want a new normal of greatness and blessings and joy and peace and love and prosperity. You want the new normal to be abundant, but it takes you understanding that that's what you supposed to have, that it belongs to you. Those things belong to you. You can be, do, and have abundance. You can be, do, and have all the blessings, joys, and peace that your heart can desire, and even more than what you can think in your heart. But it takes you to respond to what's going on and have your mind, your power, and the person that's within you to be activated so that you can respond in a way that helps you build out. Pain causes people to move. Pain causes change. But when we get so used to pain, because we keep covering it up over and over and over again, we keep putting band-aids on stuff that needs surgery, things that need stitching. We keep trying to cover up the pain as opposed to exposing it because we don't like to deal with the hurt. But here's the thing. When you get to the point where you're ready to deal with the hurt, that's when you're really ready for change. Your wounds have to be exposed and then cleaned out in order to heal, because as long as you're keeping it covered, you're becoming infectious. You're allowing that sore to fester over and over and more until it takes up so much of your body that you can't even feel any new pain anymore. So if you are a person that you feel like you're in a place of numbness, this is a wake-up call for you. This is a call for you to say, okay, it's time for me to face my fears, face the pain, face all the situation that you have now, and allow yourself to be responsive, to get yourself in order, either through self-assessing yourself is necessary in this time, because you want to figure out, if I am dysfunctional, that I'm not responding, what is the dysfunction and where did it start? Because it didn't start at the pain. The pain is the cause, is the manifestation of something. It's the manifestation of something being dysfunctional. It's a manifestation of a heartbreak. You know, when they say hope deferred makes the heart sick, the heart being sick is manifested from the hope deferred, but that hope deferred came from the root of something else. And this is why you want to make sure you get to the root of things, because the pain that you see on the surface is not what's going on in the root. Why haven't you healed at this point? Why are you numb at this point? Why can't you feel what's going on? You're supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel the fire. You're supposed to feel emotion. You're supposed to feel a transformation or change. You're supposed to feel when things move, you should be able to feel it. But if you can no longer feel, how can you enjoy the journey? How can you enjoy, if you can't feel pain and you can't feel goodness either? How can you enjoy the journey if you go through it numb and you can't feel? So this episode, wake-up call to you to let you know you don't have to stay where you are. You can be moved, but you're going to have to face everything that you've been trying to hide. Face all of your fears in order for you to respond in a natural way that you were designed to respond, and so that you can make the changes necessary in your life so that you can go through life enjoying the life, being uplifted, being enlightened about your life, and having a story, an amazing story to tell. When you numb, you forget your journey. When you get to the destination, you can't even enjoy the destination as much because you forgot the journey there. So the destination ends up going quick and then you don't have a story to tell. We are stories being written right now. You are a legacy being written right now, a legend in the making right now. Everything that you're going through, when you leave it for others to enjoy it, you are writing a book that goes from generation to generation that allows you to be something great. when you allow yourself to receive. But it's hard to receive when you're busy being numb. When you are numb, you are closed off. Something is closed. Something won't allow you to feel things. You are mentally, spiritually paralyzed. And that is not the quality of life that we were designed to live, mentally or physically paralyzed, not being able to feel. Now, you might say, well, I went through a trauma. I went through so much and it caused me to be traumatized. You have to believe for your healing. In order for you to be healed, you have to believe for your healing. There is healing that there's some people out here who healed from things that doctors said that they weren't able to heal from. There's healing for everybody. It is offered to you. You have to believe for your healing. All trouble don't last always, but it can if you decide to. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
That's good. That is so, so good. Attractive thinkers, I trust that you have jotted down, you've captured these gems in your attractive thinker notebook. You don't want to miss anything from today's episode. I want to highlight something that you said, Tichet. You said, if you can't feel pain, you can't feel joy either. I want you to understand that, attractive thinker, how important it is to make sure you continue to feel, how important it is to make sure that you don't allow people, places, and things and life circumstances and experiences to stop you from feeling, to shut you down emotionally, because you need your emotions. You need to be able to feel in order to respond to life and in order to take action in life. You need to be able to feel. So let's talk about some of the things that would cause a person to become emotionally numb. Now, you and I both have our personal experience with becoming emotionally numb, getting to a point where we can no longer feel. We just stop feeling. And I remember how that experience showed up in my life. Repetitive trauma, consistent disappointment, day by day frustration, or unmet expectations on a regular basis, being discouraged all of the time. You know, over time, it can cause your sensors and your triggers to be numb. Now, when you experience a difficult situation or contrary experiences in life, you don't feel anything because you're used to it. Repetitive disappointment and frustration and letdowns and discouragements, they play on your triggers, your heart space, your response mechanisms. That's why it's important to pay attention to our lives and pay attention to our experiences and pay attention to our heart. What is my heart feeling? Is my heart consistently breaking? Is my heart consistently sad or depressed or discouraged? That's a dangerous place to be in because it's damaging to my triggers. I need my triggers in life so I can respond to the dangers of life and so I can respond to the joys of life. But if I keep placing myself in a situation where my triggers and my responses are constantly damaged and my switches no longer work, then I can't respond to life. I was sharing with Tichet a minute ago. I was watching this movie, and the matriarch of the family, she was the grandmother. She always had Sunday dinner going on, and the entire generation, it's like the entire family would come over and have Sunday dinner. But the grandmother had diabetes, and she was cooking. She was standing in front of the stove, and she reached her arm across a pot, across the stove, and her sleeve caught on fire. But because she had diabetes, which I didn't even know until I saw that episode on TV, a person with diabetes, certain areas of their body or certain limbs, they have no feeling. So because she had no feeling, pay attention here, she could not feel that her sleeve was on fire as close as that fire was to her arm. Now, you know how close your sleeve is to your arm, the skin on your arm. You should be able to feel that. But because she had no feeling, she did not respond. That's the key right there. Everybody around her responded, but she didn't have any response because she couldn't feel it. And how many times in our lives we have become emotionally numb due to repetitive trauma And now we're faced with a painful situation and we don't even feel the pain, the effect of it. We, you know, when the grandmother placed her arm across the stove and her sleeve caught on fire, it was our natural response is an involuntary response, meaning I don't have to see that my sleeve is on fire to feel that it's on fire. And meaning I don't have to see, even though I don't see it, my body is built into my body to respond when something is on fire, when I feel it. Like you said, Tisha, pain is a manifestation of something. It's an indicator that something needs your attention. Pain is, you might want to write that down in your attractive thinker notebook, because if you're emotionally numb and you can't respond, I need to inform you that pain, meaning if something is hurting, that needs your attention. When our children walk up on us and my finger hurt or my stomach hurt, what do? Our attention goes straight to the finger or straight to the stomach. We don't ignore that. We don't say, or turn back to doing what we were doing, like they didn't just stand in our face and say that my finger hurts. So we have to treat pain, repetitive emotional trauma, the same way. We have to give it attention. You may be emotionally numb. You may not be able to feel because it was so consistent and it cut so deep and it traumatized you so much. You may not be able to feel, but you can begin to open yourself up to feeling again by giving it your attention, by paying attention to the situation, by assessing it. I heard Steve Harvey say one time, why do I have to tell you what to do if your house is on fire? If your house is on fire, why would you run next door and say, what should I do? If your house is on fire, you know what to do. Get all of your family members out first. You know what to do. Call 911 first, whatever that might be. 9 times out of the 10, your first response is to get your family out, even before you call 911. Some people, if your phone is right next to you, dial 911 while you're trying to get your family out. But your family is your first priority. So I didn't have to tell you that. That's a natural involuntary response. And when you find yourself in situations in life that are causing you so much pain, you can't involuntarily respond, you need to assess your triggers and you need to pay attention to what is ailing you. You need to turn and confront it instead of turning a blind eye to it or denying it or saying, one of my responses, because I had experienced repetitive trauma over and over and over, one of my responses became, whatever. If pain entered into my life, into my experience again, I would just say, whatever. Why? Because I was used to it. Whatever. That doesn't bother me, whatever. But that was the wrong response, because when something hurts, your natural response is to jump back, to pull your arm away from the stove, to say something. You say, ouch, or stop, or don't do that, or why did you do that? You say something when you're in pain. And you're emotionally numb when you can't even respond. When you stand there and you look at the thing that's causing the pain and you don't even know what to do about it. Remember, our natural response is to respond to the pain. It's not to walk away from it. It's not to ignore it. It's not to get used to it. It's a knee-jerk reaction. You pull back. You don't just gradually drift back. You yank yourself back. You jerk back from the pain. So if there's pain going on in our lives and we don't find ourselves jerking back, we find ourselves allowing it or walking past it and moving on to the next thing or living with it, it's becoming a lifestyle. That's when you know you're emotionally numb. And once you identify that, you are aware of that, because a lot of times we don't even know we're emotionally numb. We know we can't feel. We know something's not right. We know we're not responding like we used to. But when you're informed, as you're being informed right now on this episode of Beyond the Break, Give Yourself a Fighting Chance, you know that you're emotionally numb. Thank God for that clarity, because that's the start. Back to you, Tichet.
That is the start. Once you are aware that you are numb, now you can take the action that's necessary in order to first figure out why you are numb. And I congratulate you if you are listening to this episode and you feel like all this time I have been numb, and this episode has awakened you to say, okay, feeling numb is not normal. Congratulations, you took your first jewel in order for you to change. One of the responses, Dr. Toni, that I have when when I was going through repetitive trauma, or some sort of repetitiveness that made me numb at the time, was it is what it is. There are certain ways we say it is what it is. You say it is what it is to seal a deal. You say it is what it is because that's the only way you can come to terms with what's going on right now. Is somebody that got on your nerves and you feel irritated and you know you made a mistake and you can't change it. You say, well, whatever, it is what it is. And that is your way of dealing with it, to put it in the closet so that you don't have to make the shift or the change because it's easier. A lot of us are, we are allowing ourselves to go through the emotional trauma over and over again because we refuse to see. We don't believe that we can receive the goodness. We feel like we don't deserve. We don't understand how it starts. Let me tell you something about understanding how something starts. If you find yourself in relationships that keep repeating itself over and over and over again, in situations that keep repeating itself over and over again, check the common denominator, because there's some reason why you keep attracting this situation or these types of people to you. If you say that there's just trash, so I hear people say there's only trash men out here, or there's no good men, or there's no houses, or there's no good place to live. Check your perception with that. And why do you keep um, enhancing your awareness to people who don't mean you no good, or to people who are always untrustworthy, people who are always harming you, situations that are always, breaking you down? Why is your awareness more focused in on that? Because what you focus on will grow, and you'll go towards it every time. When you are going through those situations over and over again, there might be a lesson you didn't get the first time. So that requires some assessment too. How did this start? What is the root of this situation? Because if I keep ending up with this manifestation or this result, then that means that it didn't start off with this. Like you said with the lady, Dr. Toni, she didn't start off with the fire or with the numbness. She didn't start off not being able to feel her arm being fired. It didn't even being on fire. It didn't even start with the stove turning on. It didn't start with the warmness, with the cooking. It started way before she stepped in that kitchen. It didn't even start with the diabetes. It started with the dysfunction that caused the diabetes that made her not be able to feel her arm. So there's a root in the root in the root. You got to get deep down to the root until you can't go no more. You got to go all the way down to your why, because the more you put up with the situation happening over and over again, you just picking the weeds up from the surface. You didn't get from the root. So of course it's going to grow again. If you don't understand where the start of it come from, for instance, if we talk about weeds, you don't understand that the weed can start from a seed. You're out there blowing those what's those is it dandelions that you're out there blowing on, and all of those little those white whiskey things go flying in the grass.
Yes.
All of those little things, when they land, that's where you got the weeds coming from. So while you're having fun blowing on the dandelions, you are spreading weeds all over your grass, but you don't know how it starts. Pain doesn't always start off with a bad thing, because if we did, we would have avoided it at all costs. You know, you see things that's not right and you go, oh no, I'm not doing that. But then you go to the thing that seems right at the time, but in the end, it's harmful to your health. In the end, it broke you down. Why? Because you keep being attracted to that thing that you thought was look good. This is why I say nothing changes until you do. Because if you don't change, you're going to keep attracting the same thing over and over again. You're going to be, if you don't change, you're going to be attracted to the same thing you loved, liked, and enjoyed at the time that it was, at the time that it started. You're right back at the start again. So you have to know where the entry point is. And if you don't know where the entry point is, then you got to take it all the way back. What happened? This relationship wasn't always like this. This house wasn't always like this. This job wasn't always like this. These friends, this family wasn't always like this. Where did this pain start? How long did that happen? You know, when you go to the hospital, that's one of the things they ask you. As soon as you tell them what's the problem, they say, what are you here for? What is the problem? This is after getting your identity first, right? You go to the emergency room, they get your identity, and then they ask you, what is the problem? After they ask you, what is the problem, they ask you, when did this start? How long did this start? Now, here's the thing. Depending on how long you've had it, you got to admit how long you ignored it. So if you say, well, the pain started 2 months ago, you're telling that doctor you ignored this for 2 months ago, and now that it became unbearable, now you're changing. So when you get to the point of unbearable, that's a good thing. You know why? Because pain moves, pain shifts, pain changes. So now that you feel unbearable, you're finally deciding, I'm not putting up with this anymore. You're ready for change. You're ready to move. But let's just be sure that after this change, this is the final time you're going to go through this. After this change, I need to understand how it started so that I don't recreate this over and over and over again. I don't recreate the certain situation going round and round and round and round. You keep going around the same mountain expecting a different result at the end. You're going to come up with the same thing. If you do the same thing the same way because you are the same, you're going to have the same result. I don't care what color you choose. It'll be the same game, different face. There's a lot of us out here keep choosing the same type of men. And so now or women. And so now you have the perspective that there's no good men and there's no good women out here. But that's not the truth. There's a lot of wonderful men out here and a lot of wonderful women out here who are ready to love you, who are praying for you in this moment. They're praying that you open your eyes so that you can see when they come. They're praying that you got yourself together so when you come together, the party, you're a party and yourself, they're a party and their self, and it just becomes this big thing more than what you can imagine. Love is possible for all of us. You know, healing is possible for all of us. Financial abundance is possible for all of us. You can't take the situation you keep going through and make it a world. When you make it a world, you shut off all other possibilities. When you say, oh, it's no, good jobs out here, no good businesses out here, or there's no good men, no good women out here, you're shutting yourself off by the very words you speak, because the words you speak is coming out of your heart. And as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Your world can be recreated. Why? How? Because it's designed for you to have joy and abundance and peace. How? You assess yourself. You make the necessary changes. You fix what's dysfunctional. You operate in healing. And guess what you're going to draw to you? Things that are attached to your healing. Did you know that? Did you know that there are people that are attached to your healing? Because out of your healing is a great ministry. You done went through so many things so many times, and you felt like it broke you, and then here you are living life beyond the break. Well, there's people who are going through your entry point right now, so the words you have in your mouth, how you got out, will help deliver them. It will help break them free before they go through that circle all over again. There are some people who really believe that life is pain, and they allow themselves to go through it over and over again. They use that as an excuse. Some people are addicted to their pain. They can't even let it go. You tell them to let it go, and they're gonna argue for their limitation. If you come upon people that's arguing for their limitation, stop the conversation. Wait until they get to enough pain that they want change, and go and help deliver another. Because you're completely wasting your time. When someone wants to argue for their limitations, let them keep it. Let them keep it. Their limitations is not your limitations. We have a choice. Happiness is a choice, and so is suffering. We do not have to suffer. All it takes is one word, one thought, one move, one change, one bold decision, one bold yes or no decision to change your entire life. That's all you are, one bold decision away from your breakthrough. One good yes or no, one light bulb moment away from your breakthrough. And we hope that right now, this day, this is your defining moment, that you understand that today is the day that you are away from your breakthrough. Your breakthrough is waiting for you right now at the end of this episode. We pray that you see your breakthrough coming and can celebrate. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
Chef, that was so fantastic and amazing. And my lights are going off over here, and I'm getting so much from what you're sharing. You are one thought away, as we say here in the Attractive Thinker movement, and you're absolutely right to share. So close, one transaction away, one feeling away, one thought away from all that you desire. And I'm just going to share some of my notes as I was writing down while you were talking. Attractive thinkers are open to doing the work. See, what we share here on Beyond the Break are the action steps that you can take to heal your heart, to discover your treasure from the broken, from when your heart broke, and to know how to use that going forward to advance your life and the lives of others. So attractive thinker, that's why we always say have your attractive thinker notebook handy, because you never know what gems are going to be dropped and how they're going to make an impact in your life, because this is your defining moment. Another thing you said, Tichet, you said, as you were speaking, I was thinking, I said, you said it all starts with the dysfunction. That's what you said. It all starts with the dysfunction, that emotional numbness. You said it did not start, it started way before she entered the kitchen. That's what you said. So when you said that, you kept going with that sentence, but I stopped right there at it starts with the dysfunction. And when I wrote down the word dysfunction, what came up also was, and I think you said putting up with. And when I heard you say that, I also heard tolerating, because that's one that I'm familiar with. We're all familiar with that. If you want to know the root of where this started, this emotional numbness, pay attention to what you're tolerating. Pay attention. And I used to share this with our clients. If you don't know what you're tolerating, you got to start paying attention to your life and paying attention to what you say when you don't even know you're talking. Pay attention to the things and not just words, but the sounds you make. Like when you're washing dishes and you just shake your head or you tiss your lips or you say, There it is right there. That's what you're tolerating. Whatever thought that made you say, that's what you're tolerating. So you want to pay attention to what you're tolerating and putting up with, because that's where this dysfunction starts. That's where that emotional numbness, you can start working in right there. Start doing your work right there with that thought, whatever thought that was that made you, sometimes you're by yourself and you get a thought and then you get a tear in the corner of your eye. That's your heart speaking. The Bible is right. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. That's your heart speaking and telling you what you're suppressing or tolerating or putting up with, what you're getting used to, the pain that you've gotten used to. I want you to think about that. The other thought that came to my mind, Tichet, when you said nothing changes before you do, because you don't change, because if you don't change, you keep attracting that same thing that caused you to be emotionally numb. So nothing's going to change until you change, because we attract not what we want, but we attract who we are. I want you to think about that. And if we don't change who we are, we're saying yes to what we're currently attracting. We're saying we're okay with it. We're saying, give me more of that. When we refuse to change who we currently are, understand that you are all that you will ever need to be. So if you're attracting something that's not tasteful, not fruitful, not meaningful, then there's a part of us, we got to go inside and look, what part of me is out of alignment that keeps attracting this drama and dysfunction in my life? And I promise you, when you start doing that soul searching and that deep diving, you're going to find it. You're going to find it. And oh, happy day when you do. Because when you find it as an attractive thing, you already have the tools. If you've been tuning into these episodes of Beyond the Break, give yourself a fighting chance. You already have the tools to heal that area so that you can begin to attract more favorable things into your life and more favorable experiences, so that you can experience that authentic joy that you're supposed to experience every day of your life. I want you to think about that. The other thing that stood out to me, or that I wanted to ask the attractive thinkers, why is it important to feel again? You might say, well, let me share this with you. This is what just came to my mind when I said that. Why is it important to feel again? I remember when I was going through a defining moment in my life, and just my triggers were shut down, just emotionally numb. And God kept singing to me, kept encouraging me. I kept, finding these reasons to keep getting up and do this and that and the other. But there was one moment in my experience that I didn't want to get up anymore. I didn't want to get up because, not that I just wanted to continue to lay there or continue to be defeated. I didn't want to get up because I knew getting up meant I had to be strong and I had to fight again. And I wasn't up for the fight anymore. I wasn't up for trying to be positive all the time. And I wasn't up for trying to find the best in everything and trying to find a solution to this and a solution to that. I just wasn't up for the fight anymore. So why is it important that we feel again? Because if we cannot feel, we're not alive. We're not conscious. I want you to think about an unconscious person. You could poke them with a pen. They're not going to respond. An unconscious person, when you see the doctor take an instrument and swipe up the bottom of the patient's foot to see if they have feeling, if that person does not move, they're numb. They're numb. There's no life there. So why is it important to feel? So you can come alive in your life. If you're not feeling, then who's living your life for you? What is the point in going through the motions? Why have an imposter imitate and mimic my life when I could be enjoying the fullness of my life myself? Think about how valuable you are. You are so valuable that it's not even worth it to walk throughout life emotionally numb. You're more valuable than that. You contribute more to not just your life, but to the lives of others more than that. So why is it important to feel again? Because your thoughts vibrate out into the world, but your feelings is what you use to attract things to you. How you feel matters. How you feel. Your feelings are your line of communication. Your heart space is where you communicate with God. So if you're emotionally numb, where are you sending signals? How are you talking to God? How can he talk to you if you can no longer feel his presence? If you can no longer respond when he's all over you and keeping you alive, if you can no longer respond when he's comforting you and encouraging you and inspiring you and giving you ideas and thoughts, and your creativity is flowing, if you can't feel, then how can you experience God? Because God is a spirit. And we should be able to feel and sense and discern spirits. But if you're emotionally numb, God could be giving you an answer that you just aren't getting the message. You're not getting the signal. Your feelings are what you use to communicate with God. He is a spirit, and they that worship him in spirit. How do you worship him in spirit? With your feelings, with your emotions. He can be touched by the feelings of your infirmities. What you feel, he feels. He cares about how you feel. That's why it's important to make sure nothing shuts you down emotionally. It's important. That's why he said, guard your heart, guard how you feel, because everything pertaining to your life flows out of your heart. It flows out of your feelings. Your feelings, you can't have feelings that aren't sending signals and messages and communicating on some kind of front. You can walk into a room and people don't even have to say anything. You can sense the mood and the emotion and the vibe. We call it a vibe. Think about that. That means your feelings, your thoughts are vibrating. Your feelings are a currency. This is why it's important to feel again. You're not trying to feel again just for the sake of feeling. Your wealth is in your feelings. Your healing is in your feelings. Your answers are in your feelings. And if you haven't been taught and nobody informed you, let me share it with you right now. How you feel matters. How you feel is everything. The last thing that came to me that I wanted to share with attractive thinkers is I heard you ask, I heard you in my spirit. You said, well, Dr. Toni, Tichet, how do you heal? How do you heal? Now, when I think about this, have you ever heard the phrase, how you do one thing is how you do everything? Have you ever heard someone say the very thing that you're afraid of is the very thing that will deliver you? Well, I would say to you, how do you heal? Repetitive pain is what caused you to be emotionally numb. And it's repetitive pain that will make you come alive again. Because it's at the point, how do you heal? You heal at the point whereas, like God said, I will put no more on you than you can bear. You heal right at the point whereas you can't bear it anymore. Now we say that, oh, I can't take it anymore. Oh, I'm done. Oh, this is no, 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 no. Just because you say it doesn't mean you're emotionally and spiritually at the place where you can't, because you don't know how much you can bear. You don't know. But I promise you, it's an involuntary response. All of a sudden, a switch is flipped, something is triggered in your spirit, and you say, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just know I'm not going to do this anymore. That's when you begin to heal. That's when you begin to heal. When that day comes, I don't know. I think it's up to us when that day comes, because what determines it is how much attention are you paying to your heart. How much of a priority is it that you matter, that your feelings matter? Have you made that a priority, or you keep shrugging your little feelings off like you do your kids sometimes and say, oh, not now, oh, I'll be with you in a second, oh, I can't talk right now, oh, I can't play right now? Is that how we handle our heart? Is that what we do to our feelings? Now that you are aware, attractive thinker, now that you know, start paying attention to your heart, because it is speaking. It has never shut up. It has always been speaking. It's waiting to get our attention. It's waiting for us to say, yes, what is it? What did you say again? Oh, really? What is it that you want to show me? Yes, I would like to see that. Yes, I have time for that. Yes, let's do that. When you begin to talk to your heart that way, oh, get ready. It will reveal its mysteries and secrets to you. It will take you places that you never dreamed possible. It will move the veil from off of your eyes so that you can see things for what they really are. It's never been trying to hide anything from you. Your heart has always been trying to reveal the truth and its secrets and its mysteries and solutions to you so that you can continue to evolve, continue to grow, and be the absolute best that God designed for you to be. So if you feel emotionally numb, be encouraged today. because we just gave you the tools. Go back and listen to this message again so that you can heal and your triggers and responses can heal. And now, when you encounter people, places, and things, and experiences and decisions that you have to make, if it's painful, you know to jerk back. And when you heal yourself so much, you won't even have to think to jerk back. It's a natural involuntary response. And you'll say, woo, my spirit pulled back. No, I can't make that decision. No, I can't go in that direction. No, I'm going to pass on that opportunity. I'll pass that on to someone else. You'll know that you're healed when you respond like the great person that you are. And you respond in a way that brings joy into your life and not pain. Tichet, give us some closing remarks. Let the attractive thinkers know how they can get in touch with you, the visual encourager.
Absolutely. This is so much amazing information came forth. It's a lot of changes that will be made when you realize how much you matter, how your feelings matter, your highest thought, your highest word, your highest action. When you start operating moment by moment with your highest self, you'll see how much you can change in a little amount of time. It does not take years and decades for you to change something. It simply takes now. There's a lot of things that you'll see when you start really paying attention. And you said something, Dr. Toni, about having somebody show up in your life on your behalf. That is you being an empty shell. That numbness is you being an empty shell. Make the decision each moment to log in. Every day I wake up, I say, I'm going to log in today. I'm going to log in as the best me, even if I didn't do so well the day before. Today, I'm going to make an effort to log in to be the best me. I just want to show up in my day and give me the best so I can go out there and be the best and give the best. Because when you start really paying attention to your thoughts, to your words, to your deeds, you really start seeing some repetitive things. You start seeing some habits, some trends, and then you start to be able to put the pieces of your life together. Why this happened, why that happened, and then you can make the changes there, and then you'll really see your life change, and you can be so excited for it. So if everything we have said to you has resonated with you, then I congratulate you because you have made the decision to receive all that you can get so that you can be who you've always been. And that's powerful, that's amazing, and that is wonderful. So you can find me on my website. If you need encouragement, if you need to be uplifted, go to my website, www.visualencouragement.com. I provide mental support for movers and shakers, trailblazers, pathfinders, and groundbreakers, people who desire to move mountains but need a little help lifting the heaviness so that they can create a new vision, a new life for themselves. You can go to my contact us page, put in your information, let me know how I can encourage you, enlighten you, and uplift you so that you can live a life of fulfillment completely logged in. You deserve all of those things. You deserve every blessing. Contact me at www.visualencouragement.com. Hope to see you soon.
Absolutely wonderful, beautiful, Tichet. Attractive thinkers, make sure you take Tichet up on that opportunity. You don't want to miss that. You never know how powerful encouragement is until you've received it from Tichet Bradshaw. I want you to visit our website, www.theattractivethinker.guru. Place your information there. Receive your free videos on how to turn your problems into your solutions. If you need clarity, if you want to work with me, the attractive thinker, book a clarity session, www.clarity.theattractivethinker.guru. As your identity coach and get to the root specialist, I'll support you with the intangible tools that you need to blast those paralyzing thoughts that are blinding you from seeing that your dream life is possible, blinding you from seeing you reaching your goals, blinding you from seeing you in your greatness and all of your power. I want you to remember something. My life's work, that's always to make your life better. It is not what you're going through, it's how you build it. Think attractively,